What is up, my butter biscuits? So in today's video, we're going to be talking about Jeffree Star because he actually just did a podcast where he opened up about Shane Dawson, Nikita Dragun, Dramageddon, NBA players in his DMs, which had me like so curious to know what is going on within them DMs. So if you guys are interested in that topic, of course, go ahead and keep on watching. I low-key feel like it's very, very weird that we haven't talked about him in quite a while because obviously he is such a controversial topic. He is obviously such a big part of the beauty industry. However, there is a large portion of the internet that kind of feels like he's fading away, which I don't really know about. I feel like he obviously still is a big portion of the beauty industry because he still is one of the most followed beauty influencers. So I don't really know if he's like fading away or if like the beauty industry is just kind of like dying out. I don't really know. Y'all can let me know your thoughts and opinions on that. But before we get into this video, I did want to tell you guys, give you guys like a little bit of update, like with what I plan on doing with my channel and Instagram and TikTok and all that good stuff. I have now started posting on Instagram again, as well as TikTok. I post on TikTok actually kind of a lot. Like I have a lot of fun over there. I feel like it's just a little bit more laid back and you could be a little bit more loose. You know what I'm saying? As to where on YouTube, I feel like I got to be a little bit more professional. However, on Instagram, I'm actually going to start uploading up on there. And look, let me just keep it 100 with you guys. It's because they're starting to monetize Instagram. And I'm honestly, y'all, I have been very, very inactive on Instagram for the past like 2 years. But it's because I put so much work into it and I wasn't taking any sponsorships and I wasn't obviously getting any type of ad revenue because they didn't have monetization. And now that they do, I'm going to start taking it a little bit more seriously. So I just do want to be transparent with you guys, let you guys know straight up. If you guys watch my channel, y'all know that I do not take sponsorships. It's not because I don't want to. It's just because a lot of brands that I would really want to work with don't hit me up. And a lot of brands that I just kind of don't want to be sponsored by hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like there's so many like random brands that hit me up and I'm just like, okay, like your products look really cheap and I just don't want to be promoting that type of stuff on my channel. You know what I'm saying? I want to promote something that I obviously believe in and something that works for me and something that I've used for years. That's what I would like. So the reason why I'm saying that is because I know it's so crazy that we're still even talking about this in 2021, being that obviously being on social media is now one of the like most sought out careers. But a lot of people just think because, oh, you're going to a monetized platform that you're money hungry. But it's like at the end of the day, if you're doing this as a full-time living, you got to make money. You know what I'm saying? And keep in mind also too that, like I said, I don't take sponsorships. If you guys watch my channel, literally, y'all, I have not had a sponsorship in like 3 years. It's been that long, and it's just like it's easier for me to just take AdSense checks. You know what I'm saying? Rather than sponsorships, because y'all, I'm an overthinker when it comes to sponsorships because I really don't want to be promoting a product that I don't 100% thoroughly believe in. So it's just easier for me to not accept a sponsorship. You know what I'm saying? However, I will take a sponsorship if I really like the brand or the product. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I'm just letting you guys know that I will be uploading more on Instagram TV because they are monetizing it now. So I feel like it's just an extra way for me to make a little bit of extra money. I'm also thinking about uploading old YouTube videos onto there as well too. So that way I have it going onto 2 platforms. I think that's a really good idea. TikTok, make sure you guys follow me over there. I feel like that's like kind of like the platform that I'm having the most fun with recently. I just feel like it's really, really fun. You get to be like yourself and really loose and funny and do stupid things. You know what I'm saying? However, I feel like with Instagram and YouTube, you got to be a little bit more professional. But on TikTok, you could just be wild. And I really, really love that. So make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. I'm letting you guys know that because I do plan on being way more active there. I have been more active there within the past couple weeks because I've really been enjoying it. And I really do love the fact that Instagram is finally monetizing their videos. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, about time. Like, Facebook has had monetization for the longest time, YouTube obviously, and it's like about time that Instagram does it. So I'm very, very happy for that. Although I will say though, the ad checks over there I can tell are going to be really, really small. Like, if y'all want a separate video about that, I will be 100 with you guys and let you know how it is, talking about how much money you make on there, because I have seen now over the past week it's bad, but it's something. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, you know what? Let me just upload some TikToks on there, some old YouTube videos on there, like whatever type of content. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, just giving you guys a little bit of an update. So if you guys want to support me, I would really appreciate that. If you guys are interested in today's topic, of course, go ahead and keep on watching. If y'all are new here, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications so that way you'll get notified when I upload a new video. Make sure y'all give this video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And let's go ahead and get into it. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into this. Also, okay, once again, I know I always see the comments of people saying, you don't have to apologize. We don't hear the background, but I hear the background when editing my videos. But I have the fan on blast right now, y'all. It is so hot in here, and I actually had planned to do a live video today and do my makeup on live, but then it is just so hot in here. Like, literally my arms, I don't know if you can see, they are glistening with sweat. So I had to put this fan up because, oh my gosh, y'all, I was literally doing my base makeup in my room that has AC, and I came in here and I'm like, nope, disgusting. I'm not trying to do my makeup. So anyway, starting this off, I'm basically going to go in chronological order of how the podcast went down. So he first started off by talking about his brand and how successful it is and how many like haters still purchase his brand, which had me really thinking like, y'all, do you guys know some people that talk trash about him but still purchase his makeup? Because I low-key do, honestly. Like, y'all know I have made the decision to stop purchasing from him, which I will be honest, and I've said it time and time again within my videos, it has made me a little bit sad because I did used to look forward to purchasing his products. I really do like them. You guys may see me still using them within some videos, as well as like the mirrors. I'm undigging this one out right here. Like, I have a few mirrors thanks to Renelle Smith. She sent them to me, and I'm always going to use them because it's a gift and I have them, you know. And I've always had said, like, people will comment on my videos and be like, wait, if you stop purchasing from Jeffree Star Cosmetics, then why are you using that palette? I'm like, y'all, I already spent my money on it. Like, what am I gonna do, throw it away? That's literally throwing away money. I'm not going to do that. But he had made that comment within his video. He said, a lot of people that hate me still purchase my makeup. And I was like, you know what? He is so right about that, because I do feel like his brand is still, look, I don't think it's doing as good as it was doing around the conspiracy palette times, but I still do think that it's like up there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people are purchasing his products, but I was curious, like, do you guys know anybody that talks trash about him but then purchases his products? Because I'm like, low-key, I do. Anyways, y'all, moving forward too, he also opened up about his brand, and he's like, y'all, he said this before, that he had like $500 within his bank account, and I just kind of want to like call this out. Like, I just want to keep it real, y'all. He said that he did borrow a small amount of money from somebody to start off his makeup brand, and he started off with 3 liquid lipsticks. And I just want to say this, that I actually have been to his lab, literally where his products are made, and I actually had a consultation with there to start my own brand. And y'all, let me just tell you straight up, even though yes, I signed an NDA, but that's like for the name of the place and stuff like that and location. Let me just tell you straight up, if he's looking at starting starting his brand with 3 liquid lipsticks, including the component, the filling, the, you know, design of the actual product and stuff like that, he's looking at like $50,000, okay? And this is obviously talking about then back in 2014. It's probably a whole lot more now. But anyways, I just want to throw that out there because I feel like he always says that, like, I started off broke, and I'm like, you had to have had some type of money. You know what I'm saying? Because I really tried to start a brand way back in the day, and I'm just kind of like low-key giving up on those dreams. But like, I really tried to start a brand back in the day. I'm like, y'all, you can't get nowhere with $500. I'm sorry. Yes, I know he said that he borrowed a small amount of money, but I don't think $50,000 is a small amount of money. And I know he had to at least have spent $50,000. Just saying. I want to throw that out there because I'm like, let's keep it real. If you're going to talk about you were broke, okay, maybe you did invest your full life savings into that, but stop emphasizing on the $500 because it's like way more than that. You know what I mean? Anyways, moving forward on here, I just feel the need to say that sometimes because that way people have a realistic expectation of things. Like, don't think that you're going to start a whole brand off of $500 and a small loan. Because honestly, y'all, to like some people, like a small loan, I would feel like would be like $1,000, you know. But then I have like heard things before of people like a small loan, and it's like $2 million. You know what I'm saying? It's like, who is that small to? That would literally like keep me going for the rest of my life. Anyways, moving forward here, he said within this interview or podcast that he's actually kind of like an internet cockroach and that he basically can't be canceled, which I do agree with because there's a lot of people out there who say, okay, cancel culture is so bad. And I do agree. I feel like cancel culture is a little bit much, y'all. And I do, in my personal opinion, I do kind of feel like this is why the younger generation have like such, you know, bad depression and anxiety and stuff like that, because everyone is just so scared of being canceled, because anything that you say or do wrong literally will be held to you for the rest of your entire life. But basically what he's saying is that he always comes back no matter what, even if he gets into a whole bunch of cancels, a whole bunch of cancellations or scandals and stuff like that, he's still going to come back. And at the end of the day, I kind of feel like at the end, like depending upon the person, right? Because obviously some people can really take the heat and some people can't. I think it really depends upon if you can take it, you know? I don't think that any of us can fully cancel somebody, because if they're still getting views, they're still getting paid, therefore they're not being canceled, right? So I do kind of agree with him on that. He did talk about the things that he has done within his past, and he does find it very difficult that it's brought up like every single 6 months. This is a question that I actually had like been wanting to talk to you guys about, and this is why I was kind of like, oh, let's make this video, because I'm really curious to know what your guys' whole perception is on this. At what point in life, and this is a general question, not just with Jeffree, obviously he's just kind of like the topic that we're talking about, but this is a very general question. At what point in life, in society, do we just stop bringing up somebody's past? Like, honestly, I kind of feel like with Jeffree, straight up, he can be 80 years old, and he'll probably die in his like 90s, and people will still probably be talking trash about him and the things that he did within his past. And although I have said time and time again that yes, he has made some very, very bad mistakes, and he has said some very offensive things, and have done done some very offensive things. At what point do we like move forward and say, okay, y'all, we all make mistakes. You see growth within a person, you see change within a person, and at what point do you let that go? Because y'all know I'm very, very upfront, very clear, and I've talked about it in numerous videos that I have said offensive things. I've made offensive jokes. I've said, things that are just not appropriate. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it would really suck to have that pinned against me for the rest of my life when it's like, y'all, I was 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? This was like, what, 12, 13 years ago. And it's just kind of like, I don't know, it sucks. And I genuinely feel like, I talked to my little brother about this, y'all. He just turned 18 years old, and he's literally always on edge of like, oh, can't say that, can't say that, can't say that, because we are living in a very, very, very sensitive society. And that's not me, talking trash about sensitive people. If you're sensitive, that's totally fine. But what I'm saying, it is very hard when you're walking on eggshells in society and everything can be offensive. You know what I mean? So this is what I say, and this is just my general question because I really am curious about this. At what point in life do we let go of the past and just look forward to moving forward? You know what I'm saying? Because I have said it time and time again, and y'all know, if you guys read my comments, a lot of people will say that I'm too naive and that like I believe people too much and blah blah blah, whatever. But it's like, y'all, I do not want to live my life constantly looking at the negative in somebody. And I feel like so many people on the internet constantly look at the negative. They look at the negative, and they focus on that. And it's like, oh my gosh, y'all, us as humans, I say it time and time again, let's keep it real with yourself. We all have made mistakes and we all have done wrong things. And this is not a defense towards Jeffree. This is a general thing, because I genuinely feel that like society this day and age is just really, really scared. They're scared of cancel culture because they feel like anything that they say or do is going to get them canceled. And I think that sucks, But anyways, I just literally brought up that topic of conversation because it was something that I wanted to talk about. Speaking with my younger brother, he's 13 years younger than me. And I feel like him and his friends, they're all like depressed and stuff. And I look at him and I'm like, you have had such a good life compared to me, because when I grew up, my parents were broke, dirt broke, and he grew up good. My parents figured out their stuff. They didn't have him when they were teens. You know what I mean? Me and my sister were born while my parents were teens, and I kind of feel like they were struggling. So I grew up obviously in a different way, and he is growing up, very privileged, very spoiled. You know what I'm saying? But yet he's still so depressed, and I'm like, why is that? I kind of just feel like with social media, it makes things really, really bad, and people are just constantly throwing stones when it's like, y'all, let's all keep it real. We all live in a glass house because we all have said and done dumb things. And I don't know, I just personally wish as a society we can move forward. But I know that there's people out there that are going to be listening to my words right now, and they're going to think that I'm defending Jeffree, because y'all know that's what people do. But no, that's literally just a general statement. I'm just bringing that up because obviously this has to do with the Jeffree Star topic. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, which is like really weird, is recently I have been getting requests to do like reviews of his products again, which I find very strange because, to be honest with you, I don't feel like he's come out with anything really good recently. I don't feel like he's come out with anything that like is making me want to buy. I haven't done a my thoughts and opinions about his makeup collections in a while because he hasn't really came out with anything, But anyways, I kind of wanted to talk about that because I really do wonder, like, me as a beauty channel, because I obviously still do makeup reviews and tutorials and stuff like that on my channel. Should I cancel his brand for life? Should I cancel it for a certain period of time, or like what? Because, before we move on into this interview and stuff, I know I'm getting off on a tangent here, but I stopped purchasing his products a year ago. But before that, I stopped purchasing them for 2 years. As soon as I saw his whole entire past, I was like, whoa, like this is a whole lot, like I know I said some offensive things, but it was never that bad. You know what I mean? So I stopped purchasing his stuff for literally 2 years. I was like, I'm not going to support him on my channel. I saw a change within him after the whole Shane documentary thing, and I started supporting his brand again. And then I stopped purchasing his products in June of 2020, or 2020, sorry. That was when I purchased the cremated palette, and that was the last thing that I bought from him. But I have always been very, very open with you guys, and I said, you know what, like, stop purchasing from him kind of made me a little bit sad, because a lot of his products I was very intrigued by. I thought that he was doing a lot of things that a lot of other brands aren't really doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, look at Pat McGrath, like her stuff is bomb quality, like amazing shimmers. You guys know how I feel about her shimmers. But like looking at his packaging and his concepts and stuff like that, I'm like, y'all, it's just really fun to buy. You know what I mean? So I've always wondered, like, should I just cancel his brand forever, or should I just do it for a short period of time? Like, I really don't know. I'm very curious about that. And then I was like reading my DMs recently of people saying like, can you go back to reviewing Jeffree Star Cosmetics? And I'm like, that's so random because he hasn't even come out with anything. But anyways, on this topic, you guys can answer that question too. So anyways, we went into that. Sorry, I'm like literally looking at my whole list of things here so that way I could stay in chronological order. So, anyways, the host had asked him if there was anything that he can do in his past to change things. What would he have changed? And he said to shut his effing mouth. And this was something that I really do agree with him on, because I feel like when it came down to the whole James Charles situation, when it came down to the whole Tati situation, if he would have just shut up, like I think things would have just been so much better for him. And I do feel like he would have been in a much better position in his career if he did just shut up. But I look, this is just my personal opinion. I don't know him, but I do really feel like he was so driven by his ego and he was so driven by the drama that he wanted to make headlines because he knew that he was being talked about. And I think at the end of the day, all those headlines that he was making was helping selling his brand as well too. Because y'all, if you guys do not remember, he was popping up on TMZ, on E, on just like Daily Mail, BuzzFeed. He was popping up everywhere. But I do think that that was a short-term success in the aspect of getting his name on, you know, these tabloids. But then look at the long run, I kind of feel like it probably did a little bit more damage. But anyways, moving on, they actually ended up talking about Shane Dawson within this podcast, and he said that Shane is going to be making a comeback, and he said that he will speak for Shane in this specific moment and say that he has stayed away from the internet because he is really working on himself, and he really has realized everything that he has said wrong. This brings me to my next question, and this is something that I really have been wanting to talk about as well too, is because I know that there are so many people out there that are saying, you know what, cancel everybody as far as like Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star, and James Charles. But this is what I say is, in my personal opinion, it makes things a little bit hard when you look at somebody like James Charles, right? Who he's going to come back. He's going to be successful. He's going to get millions of views. Like, watch. It's just going to happen. Mark my words. I'm sure you guys already know that, right? Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star has made some horrible jokes, right? The horrible jokes. However, nothing has ever came forward, to my knowledge. Okay, let me just say that, to my knowledge, of them actually physically doing things. So this is where I say, at what point, like, do we just cancel everybody, or do we just kind of like let it go? Like, what do you guys feel about this, you know? Because I do feel like at the end of the day, comparing a joke to something that actually happened, like with James Charles, I just kind of like, it's a little bit difficult, right? Like, I kind of feel like, okay, why are so more, like, in my opinion, I feel like more people are out to cancel Shane and Jeffree than they are with James. And I'm like, James actually did like some wrong things, and I'm not saying that James can't make a comeback, and I'm not saying that he can't learn from his mistakes, because I 100% do believe that he can, and I hope that he can and will, you know. However, what I'm just saying is, like, don't you guys look at jokes a little bit differently than actual actions, you know? I don't know. You guys, give me your opinion on that. I'm really curious. So, anyways, moving forward here, which I was actually really surprised about this. He actually talked about Nikita Dragun, because they said they had Nikita Dragun on the podcast before, and that Nikita Dragun said that Jeffree Star passed a line, or what did he say? I quoted it, I think. Sorry, y'all, I had to find it. So Nikita actually said, some people don't need to be friends. Jeffree crossed a line, but wouldn't say what it was. And this had me so curious to know, because I kind of feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't like Nikita kind of dramatic too? Like, I kind of feel like she would have put it out there. So I'm very surprised that if Jeffree crossed a line, then how come Nikita wouldn't say what it was? Because I really think that she would have said it. I think that she would have like aired all the laundry, you know, however she didn't. So this just had me very, very curious. And I know that I'm being very metiche right now, but I really want to know, what do you guys think the line is that he crossed? Like, I'm really curious about that. Like, I'm wondering if maybe he said something that was like offensive towards the trans community. I don't really know. Look, I'm not trying to speculate or anything like that. I'm just really curious, because what is that line that could have been crossed with Nikita? But Jeffree did say within this interview that he actually put Nikita on, which I do have to say, yes, it's true. I remember seeing Nikita on Jeffree's channel way before in the past, and during this time, I think that she only had like maybe like a couple 100,000 followers, and as soon as she started popping up on Jeffree's channel, she blew up, you know. And then look at her now, she's like super, super famous, millions of followers. And he did make a comment within this podcast where he's like, okay, just keep it real and say that like I helped you out, because that's what it is. And that is true, but I'm just really curious of like what their falling out was, because I never really knew. I just remember the whole FU picture with like Laura, Nikita, Manny, Gabriel, but I never really knew like what went down specifically with him and Nikita. So can y'all fill me in on that, because I'm real nosy. Anyways, moving forward here, okay, this is the thing to me that is like low-key the most juicy, is because he always says, and I don't know if he's just like being dramatic or making a joke about it, but he literally told the people on the podcast, he said, if you guys had the passcode to my phone and you guys saw my DMs and the NBA players that were in my DMs, you guys would be shook, you know. And I'm sitting over here, y'all, straight up, who from the NBA would be hitting him up? And like NBA, okay? Because look, I'm not trying to be rude towards Andre in any type of way, but to my understanding, he wasn't like in the NBA. Wasn't he like in the minor leagues pretty much? Correct me if I'm wrong. I could totally be wrong on that. But he always emphasizes on the NBA, and he says rappers too. So like, who do you really think would be in there? Like, okay, I know this is like gossip and stuff like that, but it just had me really curious, like, who could be hitting him up? Like, what? And just in case you guys did not watch the podcast, he actually said within there that him and Andre are actually on good terms. If you guys don't remember, him and Andre Marhold had a big old scandal. This thing blew up because Jeffree accused him of, you know, taking things, which he did say within this podcast. Again, yeah, he did take things and he never gave them back. Obviously, Jeffree did put him on blast because he was hurt by him, because I guess he was like growing feelings for him, but then Andre was like, deuces, bye, like I'm just in this for, you know, a good time, not a long time, and dipped up out of there. And I think Jeffree was hurt by that, so he put him on blast for taking his things, but he said they're on good terms now. So anyways, y'all, I'm so sorry that I asked like 50 million questions within this video, but they're just things that I wanted to ask for, you know, quite some time now. And I kind of feel like this was a good moment to talk about these things because obviously it sparked a lot of questions within my head. So y'all let me know what you guys think about everything, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.